Hey everybody, welcome back. It's our weekly Throwback Thorns series and Shots with You. And this time around, we're going to a regular season match. June 2nd, 2019, the Thorns hosting Chicago. There are some obvious and hidden gems in this one, some good nuggets, and they will be captured by our special guests, Thorns defenders, Kat Reynolds, Emily Menges. Ladies, thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay. The obvious question begs asking. There are all of these games since you guys joined the Thorns years ago that you could pick. Some have already been picked, but still, why this one? Why this particular match? Go.
I think this one stood out to us just because that the start of the season, we had to play so many games on the road, and it was a really tough way to start the season, but we knew that coming back home to play our first game in the newly renovated Providence Park would be amazing. And I think once that time came, we wanted to make sure we put on a good show, and we did.
What about you, Em?
Yeah, that and the girls had all already gone to the World Cup, and so it was a fresh starting lineup, and so that's cool. You'll get to see a lot of faces that you don't normally see.
I love that. Keep in mind too, folks, that you guys having to start on the road due to the renovations that Kat mentioned, that Thorns opening crowd, a record 19,461. So you've got the crowd going bananas, and yet you're missing, it's a World Cup year, all of the players, 9 players, most of whom are starters. And yet, to your point, Emily Menges, you see folks that you know are working their tails off in training, getting those minutes, getting precious time, getting some starts. How rewarding is it to see that?
Yeah, it's awesome to see. I mean, a few things stick out. I think Midge's goals and assists by Simone, and then Marissa's goals. I think that was awesome. Just a couple, I mean, especially Marissa getting her, I think it might have been her second start, but especially names that haven't been around the NWSL all that much, but we know them. Obviously, we see them every single day, so it's definitely cool for us to see those players specifically.
Kat, what about you? When you know it's a time for the Eckerstroms to get their first start, you mentioned Simone and Midge doing her thing, Angela Salem before the injury. You know what they're capable of. And the national team, your teammates said, hey, we're in good hands. We know when we leave to represent our countries, we're in good hands. That must mean something to you guys, veterans, holding down the fort.
Yeah, I think so. I think we knew that was going to be something that was really important during the season, because a lot of the national team players were going to be gone for a lot of it. So we really needed to make sure that the group that was going to be around was going to kind of be a strong group and be able to perform and get the results while the other girls are away. And then once they come back, then they'll be able to step in and help out as well. So yeah, I think that was really important that we were able to do that.
Earlier in the season, and maybe I'm just trying to stoke the fire here a little bit, but earlier in the season, you guys play Chicago to that 4-4 tie. And it was a game that you gave points away to, as far as I'm concerned. When you take the lead in the 87th minute, they equalize in the 90th. Did that fuel the fire a little bit, or am I just being a fun hater?
I mean, I'm sure it fueled the fire. I remember that game was extremely frustrating, and I mean, it's always a good game with Chicago, so I think we were definitely fired up and ready to go once we were facing them again in our home stadium.
Menges, am I a fun hater?
I think I was injured during that first Chicago game, but I definitely remember.
So it's everybody else's fault, darn it.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
it's surely not my fault. No, there's plenty of games that have been my fault. No, I definitely remember watching that game, and you could tell the frustration and the wind and everything. You could even tell via computer screen from Portland. But I think that game specifically, we were probably most fired up just with the new starting lineup and the home opener. Okay. And yeah, that weekend in general we had it on our calendars for a while, so pretty exciting.
All right, so you guys come out in this particular game that you chose at home in front of 19,000 plus. You guys come out smoking. You take the early lead, Midge and Simone. linking up. The place is going bananas. You're bossing the midfield. You end up winning 3-0. How rewarding was that shutout for the defense and for Britt? Was that on your mind, the clean sheet, as the match progressed?
I mean, I think it's always our goal as a back line and as a team to not let in any goals and get shutouts. So I think whenever that happens, it's definitely something we're excited about. And I think having Britt, I mean, obviously AD is a great goalie, but having Britt, we were just as confident in her, and she did a great job all the games she got to play, and I'm sure it meant a lot to her to also get that shutout.
And was it on your mind at all? I mean, Britt the development of Eckerstrom has been really fun to see, and I thought she was outstanding in this match.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think, like you said before, we get to practice with all these players every day, and obviously AD is an amazing keeper, but we always get to see Britt and even Bella during practice as well, and they're top-notch keepers as well. And so there was no doubt in my mind that Britt could step in and help us back there. So like Katherine said, clean sheets are always what we're going for, but we had confidence in Britt for sure.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this. This is the fun thing about going back to these matches where you get to start peeling back layers. And I didn't know this until some digging, but with that win over Chicago, you extend your unbeaten streak against the Red Stars to 6 years. 6 years. You got to go back to 2013, if I'm not mistaken, to find your last loss to a really good club. Now, of course, neither one of you were on the roster at that point, so don't blame 2014 on you guys. But did you
fault again?
Yeah. Did you have any idea, either one of you, that the unbeaten streak goes all the way back to 2013?
No, that's a great stat.
Well,
yeah, they're always such a good team to play.
Yeah.
We match up really well against them, I think, because both of us like to play a lot, especially with their midfield. They love to play, and we definitely are more of a playing team and less direct. But so we've always matched up well against them, and they're a very tactically smart team. But yeah, it doesn't. That's a great stat for us.
You just throw that out next time you're with the group, Emily Menges. Yeah, I mean, you see if anybody else comes up with that. Last match before the World Cup break. Is that on the mind of everyone in training and in the locker room? Let's end on a good note because we've got a little break coming up. Kat, I'll start with you. Was that on your mind at all?
I mean, possibly. I don't really remember that specific thought, to be honest, but I think it's definitely always a good feeling when you end on a high note before you go into a little break. And hopefully that wasn't our main focus, but I'm sure it was in the back of our minds.
How about you, Em? Were you thinking about that at all?
I do. Now that you bring it up, I think I remember because we had played Sky Blue the week before, I think, and Midge might have gotten her first goal then. And so I think between that and we still had our Australians during that game, and then they left for this game. And so I think it was kind of like a slow transition into the World Cup break. But we knew that we wanted to end on a high note. I definitely remember that, just knowing we had been on a roll and we had won that last game. And now if we could win this game, we get to relax and train for a little.
Okay. You know, I think the only downside of the match, and it was a big one, this particular win against Chicago, was Salem's devastating ACL and season-ending blowout. You know, a non-contact thing. Kat, I know that Angela Salem is one of your closest friends, if I'm not mistaken, in your wedding. I would imagine as you watched her off on the gurney and then realized it was an ACL, that must have hit you hard.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough moment. I think I kind of saw it happen out of the corner of my eye, and I've never seen her go down like that. So I knew right away that it was something really serious, but I kind of was trying not to focus on that for the rest of the game, and obviously hoping for the best and hoping that it wasn't the worst case scenario. But yeah, obviously she was really upset about it, but she's worked so hard to come back from her knee, and I know that she's going to be stronger than ever this season. So it's been cool to see her kind of overcome that. But yes, in the moment, that was really tough.
You both have gone through your shares of injuries. There's no question about it. Kat, you had a season-ending injury in 2018. If I'm not mistaken, there you were pondering retirement. You had that great wisecrack comment about, well, I'm in the locker room. Sinky's clearing out her locker. She had 3 really nice pair of boots. She had 3 nice pair of cleats. Offered them to me. I had to come back. Do you remember that moment?
Oh yeah, she still leaves me cleats in my locker all the time with little notes that says another season question mark or 2 more years question mark. So she just leaves me cleats in there with little notes all the time. I love it.
I mean, Emily, you might get to wear the captain's armband once in a while, but I don't know if you get cleats from Sink.
No, I don't.
Just saying. Okay, how about the exclusive club that you guys are in? Do you know which one I'm talking about? Both of you guys are an exclusive club. Not many in the whole league can say what you guys can say. Do you know what I'm talking about? Swing and a miss, Menges. How about you, Kat? Never mind, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
You two have played in 100 plus NWSL matches for the same club. Kat, yours happened in 2018. Yours happened in 2019. That's got to mean something. The tenure and the longevity with this wonderful foundation or organization. That's gotta be special.
Yeah, it's awesome. I still have my 100 jersey.
Do you?
Yeah, I have it in my bathroom actually.
In your bathroom?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a small apartment.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's great. It really is an honor to have it with one club I've loved. I mean, obviously my time at Portland, and to reach that milestone with them it's awesome.
And Kat, yours came with your only career goal. Do you remember that moment? You were laughing so hard, and at one moment, after you scored, you were laughing so hard, and Emily Menges, you were laughing so hard. That was back in 2018. Kat, walk us through that.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
please walk us through
Please
that.
walk us through that, Kat. It was quite the strike.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, first of all, I never really even get to go up on attacking corners, so that was a change. And I was like, all right, well, here I am. And then the ball came to me, and I just shot it, and I was shocked it went in, but it was just I was laughing because were we already losing 4-0
4-0
to North Carolina?
I wasn't going to bring that up, but okay.
That's why I was laughing, because I was like, of course I would score 1 goal when it really isn't going to help us at all. It was towards the end of the game. We were already losing 4-0. I've never scored a goal in the NWSL, and it comes right now on my 100th game when we're losing 4-0 to our rivals. This just cannot be any more strange. And it was I didn't really want to celebrate because we were losing 4-1 now. So it's but it was
you looked right at Menges, you looked right at Emily, and you both looked like you were watching the funniest show in the world. Emily Menges, do you remember that?
Yeah, well, Catherine, what did you say to me? You made a joke, and I did not think it was funny at the 60th minute. And I looked at you, and I basically, you said something like, we have 30 minutes left, and it was already 4-0, just one of those games. And I did not think it was funny in the moment.
This is fun.
And then she scored her goal, and all of a sudden it all became funny.
It was hilarious. Your reaction, Kat, and Emily, you laughing just as hard. I'll never.
I have that. If anybody wants to check out my Instagram, I don't post very often, so you don't have to scroll very far. But I have that posted, Catherine's reaction.
I love it. Okay, so good. How do people find your Instagram? What do they do? I don't know how this works.
At Emily Menges.
Okay. All right. Good. All right, you guys.
Also, Emily is yet to score, so this is going to be her year.
Kat, we could go on and on about that, couldn't we? We could.
Well, I mean, it's tough. I've been playing for a long time, and I just scored, so she has time.
It's hard.
It's hilarious.
Especially because we just don't get up there very often, so it's just
never. I talked to you about this last time, Anne. I think
you did, baby. I got you.
Yeah. When Michelle Beto scored, she was up in the box and I was back.
Well, and she scored more goals than you. So let's
and she doesn't.
okay. Now, you guys, for this particular match, and again, we'll go back to Chicago. So we're missing a ton of internationals. I get that, but the back line was really, really strong. That I mean, with you two, and Kling, and then whoever is back there with you, because there's a lot of folks with versatility. It's a strong back line. Help viewers, help your fans understand how much talking. I know that the keepers are chattering and chipping all the way. How much talking do you guys do to each other during a match, or are things just unspoken? How much do you talk, or do you?
I think I would need to watch some of the games before this game to remember when we switched to this formation, but we were playing 5 in the back, and I definitely don't usually play next to Gabby, and so that was different. And I play next to Katherine a lot, and so that is a little bit more unspoken, although we definitely still talk a lot. But I would think that game in particular, we were probably talking way more than usual, just because then we have Elizabeth was next to Katherine as well.
Right.
And so we were all kind of in between people who don't normally play back there, but were very, stepped in and rose to the occasion. But I would think that game in particular, we spoke more than usual.
So, Kat, it's not like you're, you don't waste words. So, Katherine, do you recall that game in particular, to Emily's point, doing a little more talking than usual?
Yeah, kind of like Emily said, I'm sure just like having kind of a new group of people back there, right away, you're going to have to talk a little bit more and just make sure that everyone's on the same page. So I'm sure that was the case, but obviously the more we talk in any game, the better it goes. So I think that's something as a back line that we focus on a lot, and making sure that we're just communicating with each other, passing players on, and just making sure everyone's on the same page.
So beside your milestone 100 matches with the same club, here's another little talking point that you two have in common. High school track stars. Yeah. So Katherine, if I'm not mistaken, you were a sprinter, 100, 200, 400, and Emily Moore, 400, 800, or if you said if the coach was feeling particularly cruel, the mile. Who would win a foot race right now? What do you think? I'll go with the 400 since you have that in common. Who would win a foot race with the 400?
Probably Emily.
That would be very close.
Yeah? Why are you making that face, Emily Menges?
Terrible memory.
Well, you got to remember the distance. You got to remember running. You guys are flipping fast. Who would win a foot race?
I don't know. Let's race. Let's get out there.
Well, social
1 and 6 are 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
You just have to be careful, Emily. Remember we were doing like the full out sprints and then you like went down.
Yeah, I don't sprint anymore unless it's in a game, man.
All right. Duly noted. Last time we talked with you, Emily Menges, things were good. You were healthy, working out, and I'm going to assume everything is still copacetic?
Yeah.
Good.
Everything's great.
Good. Katherine, tell everybody where you are and what you're doing for your workouts, and knock on wood, hopefully you've been safe and symptoms are good.
Yeah, healthy and safe. I'm up in Seattle, which is where I'm from and where my husband is. So I'm at home, and I've been doing the workouts that the Thorns have been sending us every single day, which has been really good because kind of gives you just kind of like a guideline for the day, like what you need to get done. And the workouts have been pretty tough, and it's kind of cool because a lot of us don't have gyms we can go to, so a lot of things that we can do from our home or by just like going to a soccer field to do running or a track or just running outdoors. So I know they've put a lot of time and effort into creating all the individualized plans for us, and I think it's going really well given the circumstances.
Fantastic. I'm going to leave you with this, guys. You had the 19,400 for that record-setting home opener last year. Can you imagine what Providence Park is going to be like when the gates are open to fans and games are being played again in front of fans with you guys on the pitch. Can you just imagine how Providence Park is going to feel then? It'll be magical.
It'll be awesome.
Can't
Hopefully
wait.
sooner rather than later.
I hear you, ladies. Thanks to you both for taking the time. You know, we just love checking in with you, and your fans appreciate it so very much. Thanks for being available, and you never know, we may be getting you back on the show, so stay close to that phone, ladies. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks, Ann.
Thank
Take care,
you.
guys. Be safe. Over and out.
Bye.
Bye.